give people another minute to get in here. And in the meantime, I'm going to put in the chat a link to my Spotify playlist in case we have any audio issues and you guys like the music that we write to. It's always instrumental. And I know sometimes it can get a little spotty for people. So I'll go ahead and put that in the chat in 1 second. Megan, I'm so glad I get to see your face today.
Hey, good to see you.
While we're waiting, and while I'm doing this, let's put in the chat, because I know well, for me personally, I could definitely use a little bit of reframing right now while things are crazy busy and slowing down. That's exactly what today is for. And some more gratitude. So put in the chat, what's your favorite thing about the holidays? And you can fire off a few if you want. Either something you're looking forward to, whether it's a type of food or a tradition, or just something that comes along with the holidays. What's something that what's your favorite thing? Glow of the Christmas tree when they're over. Oh, I love this group. Skating on the lake. You have like a frozen lake nearby, Amy, that you skate on. That sounds magical. Oh, Fantasia. Kelly, I still have yet to see that.
I didn't know that. I would have scheduled it while you were here.
Well, I thought about it, but I just wanted to make sure we got to see everyone and got quality time with everyone.
Next year.
Yeah. Time at home with my family, most of them. I love holiday music too, Bonnie. Yes, in the old school. I am like, I don't know, a 70-year-old at heart sometimes. I love like just music from the 50s and 60s. I have a whole separate playlist with like the Ronettes and just that kind of era that I absolutely love.
Oh, that's awesome. Doo-wop at our house.
Yes,
and,
yes,
and it has to be
think of
said just like that. Like, I
Thank
listen to
you.
some doo-wop.
Doo-wop, just like that. Yes.
But I love it too.
I'll send a couple links to you guys too. Oh man, Amy, I hope it is frozen because I want to see pictures. That is so cool. All right. Well, I first, before we dive in, I really want to welcome our newest members. I see your shining faces in here and recognize some familiar faces. I'm just so happy that we're gathering today. Candace, Debbie, I see you in here, both of you. Lisa and Amy, you're not totally new, the two of you, but you are new to the new platform, which is great. I'm so happy to see you guys have migrated over there. And if any of you are still not on the Mighty Network site, get on it because it's so awesome. And let me know if you need any help, by the way, because we're no longer using the Facebook group and just more fun stuff is happening over on our new platform. So it's really cool. So let me know if you need any help with that when we're done. And just a couple quick announcements. So December 30th, you might have seen, I decided to do what I'm going to call it a parental pop-up. You don't have to be a parent to join. So spread the word to anyone that you think might enjoy this. I just figured after Christmas, before New Year's, kind of during downtime, usually when, kids are home from school, usually when we're going to need a little bit of motivation, maybe to get some thank you notes going. I just thought it would be fun to do a pop-up workshop, sort of like this, but even more casual. I know I'm going to have my daughter who's 4. She's going to be home with me. And I love writing cards with her. She loves doing it too. And I just think it would be really fun just to have that dedicated hour together. So you'll see a link to that on the platform. And then I'll also send out a reminder email, but would love to have you guys. It's just included in your membership. So that's that on December 30th. And then I was going to tell you guys about new holiday cards, but I'm not going to get them to you in time. So we're not going to do that. But I do have one that I just finished for this other project that I'm really excited about that I wanted to show you real quick. And it just says, hey, you are really good at what you do. And this I had originally designed when I first launched my company, and I'm kind of embarrassed by the old design. It's rough, but I just updated it, and I think I've told you guys before. I've given this card, the original version of it, to 3 people. My therapist, my doctor, those 2 especially, they inspired it because they helped me through a really tough time. And then to our house painters, after they were finishing up a job. And my therapist and my doctor both, it moved them to tears. And I think it's because we don't tell each other enough that, hey, you are really good at what you do. And it could be anyone from, you know, your kid's music teacher, their teacher, it could be a coworker, a colleague, mentor. I mean, anyone that's in a service job could, I think, benefit from hearing this. So you can take this line if you want, just make it your own in whatever card you have today. But I'm telling you from experience and from giving it to those people that it really can go a long way to tell someone you're really good at what you do. So that's the only one I wanted to show you today. Let's jump right in, shall we? You guys ready? By the way, it's awesome that you're all here. I know this is such a busy time and it would be easy to skip something like this, but I'm just really, really glad that we're all here. This is so important. Okay. Usually we do a little meditation for those of you that are new today, just to settle down my overly excited nerves. But today I thought it might be cool to connect with ourselves and to help ourselves really slow down during all the holiday busyness. And you can decide if you want to choose a card to do this, or if you just want to write on a piece of paper next to you or journal it, however you want. Let's take a few minutes to, and you can put in the chat too if you want, if you don't want to write. Let's answer this question. What 3 things do I need to hear today? What 3 things do I need to hear today? I'm just going to give you guys about 2-3 minutes to do this. Go ahead. I'm gonna grab. I'm going to go ahead and share mine in the chat. And if you're still writing, go for it. If you feel like sharing, you guys know that this is a very casual group. You just go ahead and unmute yourself and share away. Audra, I loved what you put in the chat. That is so important and so good. And I love that it sounds like you're talking to a friend. That's awesome. Does anyone feel like sharing? Are we going to be a quiet group today? Am I going to have to get used to like the new normal here?
I'll share something, Sarah.
Yes.
So I wrote that you achieve whatever you set your mind to. And I think that's really important because sometimes I set my mind to something negative and I achieve that negative outcome. And sometimes I set my mind to something positive and oh, lo and behold, I achieve that positive outcome. So the mind is so powerful. And if we can just set our minds to positive things, then I know that we can achieve those things. And I have to remind myself of that a lot.
Oh, that is such a good reminder. I want to like bottle up what you just said and just have it in my pocket all day. That is so good. It's such a needed reminder. Thank you. Oh, that was really, I'm a terrible multitasker. I've started typing what I wrote in the chat, but I'm just going to tell you guys because so that we can keep moving. I just grabbed one of my postcards and I just wrote on the back of it, you are doing enough. You can rest and you need to. I seem to forget that a lot. You can say no to certain things and you are enough.
I would love to hear today that you look good, even though I can see your underwear lines through your pants. Just
There
one.
she is.
She's talking about me saying that. I'm sorry. Mom, you look great.
Maggie's her daughter, by the way. Are you guys in the same? Yep, you're in the same room. You're in the
Yeah,
kitchen.
But I would also like to hear, Mom, you were right. And I love all of your puns.
I do love all your puns, Kelly.
Thank you. See,
count
one
on you for
down.
You got one down, however many are in your household to go right now.
Kelly, you would absolutely be invited into the Glasgow household. I have a 12-year-old son and a 54-year-old husband. And those two are like pun central. They are constantly punning with each other. And I'm over here rolling my eyes. So you are welcome anytime to come to our house.
The only thing better than a good pun is a really bad pun.
I
Yes.
don't think there's such thing as a bad pun.
Yeah.
Agreed. Agreed.
They're so bad
We-
that they're good. That's
Yeah. Yep.
that is the point of the pun. We're a punny family too.
Yes. Oh my God.
And
This is just
There
like-
always has to be
And-
a new pun book as a stocking stuffer. We've got
Oh,
lots
that
of
is a
pun
great
books.
idea.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm
man.
glad to hear I'm not alone out there. Thanks, guys.
Not at all. Not at all. This is so great. I feel like we need to like swap pun resources and websites and all that good stuff just for when you need something funny. Need something punny. That's the most obvious, dumbest one. Okay. Hey, let's keep it moving, right? Okay, so Bonnie, those of you that are new this time around, I love to just usually start these off just to get us kind of warmed up with, you know, the reminder that it doesn't have to be perfect. Like whatever cards we write today, it does not have to be perfect because you can make someone's day with 1 or 2 lines, right? So let's do what I love to call a rapid fire love fest. Pick any card from your stash. And if you guys have written, if you've done your homework, which your unnecessary homework, and you made a list of people that you'd love to write a card to, just people that have been on your mind, this is now a great time to just cross one of those people off your list and send them a card and just challenge yourself to keep it to just 2 to 3 lines max. Okay. It can be a random card. I love telling people like pick your oldest, ugliest card that you've been hanging on to for a super long time for this. And you can say, this card is so random, but I wanted to use it to tell you, fill in the blank. And that's it. That's all you have to say. But yep, 2 to 3 lines. I made a note here. If you don't really know how to start it, you don't know how to keep it short, you could just say something like, in the midst of holiday bustle, I just wanted to take a moment to tell you, or in the midst of like the holiday chaos, I wanted to take a moment to tell you, I think you're a really great fill in the blank. I so appreciate having you as a friend. You're doing a really great job. You're really good at what you do. I went ahead and put a couple different prompts in the chat too, if you're feeling stuck. And I think you all know this already, but I'll just remind you, these workshops, you use them however is most beneficial to you. If you just want to log in here and maybe address your last round of holiday cards, if you, however is most efficient and effective for you, you can follow. Yes, Audra, I love that. Okay, perfect. That's awesome. This is always just about connecting with others and deepening our own connections, our own relationships. So however that looks to you, if it's firing off like 10 cards, or if it's just doing that one really hard card that you've been meaning to write to someone, whatever that looks like for you, that's what this hour is for. Does anyone feel like sharing their rapid fire love fest today?
I want to know what Audra said. It didn't go to the group.
Oh, she held up, she's drawing. She's
Oh, sorry. I'm not focused.
Good. What is it? Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
that's so cool.
Unmute. Did you just do that during this workshop?
No, I started it a few days ago. I put a different hat on him, but
Oh my gosh.
I'm practicing portraits.
The hardest subject matter on the planet.
I love like that could be like a little ad to go with, or just like, it really tells someone you were thinking of them.
Oh,
That you like
Yes.
did the portrait.
1000%. My gosh. Okay, any rapid fire? Gosh, this is like the quietest this group has ever been, by the way. It's like, I don't know what to make of it. Kelly, do you have anything punny that you wrote in your rapid fire love fest?
I don't, because this was a really serious card that I've needed to get out forever for a dear friend of mine that's suffering with Lewy body syndrome. It's like Parkinson's and Alzheimer's together.
Oh,
And so I've needed this moment. So yeah, that wasn't a good place for a pun in hers,
probably
but
not. Good call.
but I've needed to do this forever. And this card has been sitting on my desk for like a year to send to her. So this really gave me, and your prompt in the midst of the holiday hustle and bustle was a great intro.
Oh, awesome.
That was a great way to start. So
Wow,
thank
way
you.
to go. That's a
next
big
one,
deal.
next card will be punny.
Okay. All right. I mean, we're just like moving right along here. I feel like we're going to have more cards written today. Like we're like down to business today. You guys are super focused. It's amazing. I am like the complete opposite. I'm like, let's chit chat today because everything is crazy. I just miss you guys. I feel like it's been a long time. I just really miss you right now. Okay, rapid fire love, and this is up to you. The rest of the workshop, usually we're going to get right into it in just a second here. We usually do like the main prompt of the day. And so up to you guys. Again, you can take it, you can leave it. If you feel inspired by it, great. Take it and run with it. But yeah, again, up to you. I just wanted to, before we get into it, I wanted to share just a quick little, just a fun story. Nothing heavy or anything like that. I was just home, as I was telling a few of you before we got started. I was just visiting my family, my gigantic family down in California. I'm the youngest of 8, and there's 20, right? 20 grandkids. I feel like I should definitely know that number. But I always think there's maybe more. It just feels like there's more. It was bonkers.
The neighbors like kind of just squeeze some in that like you won't notice.
Yeah. I mean, neighbors' kids could walk in the house and like we wouldn't even know. It's just like there's so much going on. Like we don't know exactly how many all the time. It's just like hopefully they're all okay. They're all accounted for. Like that's just kind of how it goes. And so it was so much fun. And we had it at my parents' house. My parents live on like, you know, the start of a cul-de-sac. And so my mom had this idea to pass out flyers to the neighbors that morning, just to let them know that there's going to be a lot of kids running around, you know, playing out in the street. And if they could, you know, just be cautious driving. And, you know, I don't know if she said, let us know if it gets too loud or anything like that. But yeah, she just made up flyers to hand out to her neighbors. And mind you, my parents have lived in this house for decades. You know, that's where I was born and raised. They've lived there for a very long time. They've had neighbors for a long time. And my mom is a very social person. She helps every single person that she possibly can. And so she told me, I was so surprised to hear this. She said that when she went to pass out these flyers, she ended up having conversations with a couple of her neighbors that she had never had before. Like she's known and waved to a couple of them as, you know, as she's working out in the yard or as they're going by on their walk, like they kind of wave through the window. And she said one of them she's seen for 12 years. And yet this was the first time that they struck up a conversation just because my mom passed out these flyers and they happened to be, you know, home at the same time. And I thought, that's amazing. And what does that say about our relationships with our neighbors, you know, that we pass by thousands of times over our lifetime? And I'm not as social as my mom. I'm not as outgoing as my mom. I'm definitely a homebody. And I know our neighbors to each side of us okay, but I still haven't met a lot of our neighbors. We've been here for 2 years. And I got to thinking, I mean, how many of us, put in the chat, on average, how many of your neighbors would you say that you know really well and that you're close with? That
I
you
just
can
met
count on?
one today
Really?
at the library because another neighbor told me that she worked at the library and we were already going to the library. So I struck a conversation with her to meet more neighbors.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that's great.
I'm trying. We
25%.
just moved here.
Yeah, that's okay. That's awesome. Well, you have a free pass then. Yeah,
Hey.
what percentage of your neighbors would you guys say that you know fairly well?
I live in a 1 square mile town. I know my neighbors way too well.
Okay, Debbie, this prompt may not be for you then. So feel free to make it your own or do something entirely different. That's so funny.
So I think this is such a great topic because as the parent of an only child, and I believe that kids should be out roaming around, like what you just described, Sarah, of let the kids go out. Like we all grew up, you know, we didn't have iPhones or computers. So we were out in the street playing, at least I was in California where I grew up. So I've made a huge effort to meet our neighbors because I wanted to find all the other kids. And I tell the moms that I meet, like we're kind of free range parents. So if my kid just shows up at your house and rings the doorbell, is that okay? And the parents will either say yes or no, and then we know which houses they can go to. But that's how I've made a big effort to get know our neighbors just for that exact reason. I think it's really important to have a community around you.
Absolutely. And yeah, so many things. Because I think, you know, when I was at my parents' house and before, I'm, you know, whatever generation, I don't know if I'm a Gen Z or a millennial. I'm 36. I still don't know exactly, but like, that's how I've had, you know.
We are
both
elder
worlds.
millennials.
Okay. I don't feel like a millennial, but I also, okay, older millennial.
In true millennial style, we have to create our own sub.
Yeah, it's so true. God, that's so true. I mean, it's just funny because I grew up the same way, Bonnie. You know, we were just riding our bikes out in the street, but then the internet came along, like my freshman year. And so everything has just changed drastically and I hardly know my neighbors. So, yeah, I totally agree. I think because we're home so often and we're not outside, it's just the act of being outside and in passing, you know, either on a walk with your neighbor or while you're out doing yard work like my mom was. Or now that, I mean, I try to go out with my daughter and have her ride her bike on our street, but it's a somewhat busy street. So it's just different. And some of you know the story, but one time I lost my wedding ring while out on a walk with my dog. And I knew I lost it like blocks away. And I'm a very sentimental person. I was determined to find it. There were multiple metal detectors involved. I put posters out. I actually had a news station come out. Like it was this whole thing. And long story short, I met so many neighbors, just these sweet, you know, these boys in middle school that, because I was like, there's a reward. Anyone that finds it for me, I will pay you. Like I need to find this ring. And so it was 3 months, you guys, of just being out, like looking for it on my walks with my dog. And then people were like, oh, are you the one that lost the ring? Oh, I have really good luck, or I know someone that, has good luck finding it. So we just would strike up conversation. And I have to say, having those touch points with the people that are, I mean, literally right in front of us, it changes things, and it just really puts us, I feel like, in touch with ourselves, in touch with humanity, in touch with obviously our community. And it just makes us more aware of different ways that we can show up for each other. So that's the reason behind the main prompt for today. I want us to reach out to the people that are, whether they are your neighbors, Debbie, or someone maybe that is in front of you in a different way. Let's not look past the obvious today. And whether that is the neighbor across the street, it's going to be, for me, there's a single mom. She lives across the street. She's got, I think, a 16 or 17-year-old. I've only talked to her probably 3 times. She's very busy. I get it. But she seems really cool. And I just want her to know that, I mean, without being creepy, like, to say, I see you, but not literally and also figuratively, like, you're doing a great job. So that's my goal today. I'm going to write to her, and you guys can cap it off with, something like, of course, if you ever need anything, where we are, here's our information, like call, text, anything like that. If you haven't already done this for your neighbor, I think that would be a nice way to cap this one off. But yeah, let's do that. Let's reach out to the people that are right in front of us. And last thing I'll share before we get to writing is this random quote that I found the other day. I was super distracted, and I don't even know why I ended up on this person's blog. I don't know who he is. Ian Sanders. I don't know who this person is. He said, "Don't get so busy you miss what's in front of you." And I love that. So we're gonna focus on that today. I'm gonna put on, I've got some instrumental Christmas music. It's like super mellow, piano-y, and it's just really, it's just fun. I like it. So I'm gonna go ahead and start that. We'll go for about, let's do, I mean, like we'll do about 15 minutes. Okay. So about 10:45-ish, we'll check in around then. And I'll put the link in here. If it's, if the music's spotty, you guys can just click on the link and have it play by yourself, but go for it. Does anyone have any questions?
Sarah, I don't know if you told the end of the story, but did you find the ring?
I did. And yeah, 3 months later so here's the thing about it. It was when I finally kind of gave up on looking for it, because my husband was like, can we be done? Like, can we be done? This is why we have insurance. You're spending so much time, and I can see that you're it's really wearing on you. Like, let's go get a replacement. And so I said, fine. Kid you not, the day after I picked up my replacement ring, I found it. And it was 3 blocks away, covered in mud. There was cobwebs. It's I don't have it on right now, but it's a raised design, so you can see underneath the diamond. There was a cobweb in there. There was a hair coming out. It was disgusting. And I'm sure that the old woman that saw me in that moment find the ring thought I was an absolute nut job, because I was crying. I was shaking. I went and knocked on that person's on their door, because they're one of the people I talked with. And because they saw me head down with a metal detector or just looking for the ring, and I told them all about it. And, we struck up conversation. So I felt like I need to talk to someone. It's just me and my dog. I have to knock on this woman's door and tell her. And she was just like, okay, I'm great. I'm happy for you. But it was just, it's just one of those examples of when we finally let go of trying to control a situation, things seem to work out the way they're supposed to. So that was one of the big lessons taken from that. And also, people are rad. I had so many people reach out to me asking if I had found it, asking if they can look, asking for more information about how it was lost. People are so good.
That's wonderful. Great
Was
story.
cool.
Thanks for sharing.
Yeah. Oh, I have to share my screen, don't I? Just gonna give you guys, hold on a second. Just gonna give you guys a couple more minutes. Again, if you want to keep writing to someone else, if you want to do a different prompt, go for it. I'm just punching in a few ideas for what to say in the chat if you get stuck, and especially if you're writing to a neighbor. One idea I had that I haven't gotten to yet as a printable would be just compliment cards to give your neighbors, the ones that have like really gone all out on their decorations this holiday season. I just think it would be cool to, give pause, like recognize the effort that they put in, because we don't ever do that. I know people do it for themselves and because it brings us joy, but it also brings other people joy. And I just think it would be nice to recognize the people that go all out on that, on their decorations. So I put an idea for that in the chat. And I feel like that would also be an easy way to get to know your neighbors. Little conversation starter and a reason to give them maybe your cell phone if they ever need anything. So there's some ideas in there. And if you're feeling good about what you wrote and you feel like sharing what you wrote with others that might be stuck, please just put it in the chat. I had to share this with the one person that messaged this to me because it cracked me up. If you want to go for something funny, there's a really funny prompt for you at the bottom of the chat. Easy way to strike up a conversation with a neighbor with that one. Okay, we'll do 5 more minutes. Yeah, nice little icebreaker. Probably need to know your neighbor well on that one, but maybe not. I don't know. Okay, we'll go for just a couple more minutes. And then I would love if people want to share when we're done. All right. See, some of you are still writing. It's cool. Keep at it. I would love, especially this time, if anyone feels like sharing. This is my personal favorite part of these workshops, because not only does it help us all get unstuck if and when we are feeling stuck, we don't know what to write. It just, again, it's another thing that just, I feel like, puts us in touch with humanity a bit more, and brings like this big kind of crazy scary world just down to a human level. So if anyone feels like sharing, you go ahead and unmute yourself. I'm not quite done with my card yet to my neighbor, but I'm almost done. So if everyone is feeling super shy today or just kind of quiet, that's cool. I'll share mine, but it's not done yet. Anyone? Maggie, can I put you on the spot? Hold on, you're muted, girl.
Darn it. Sorry. I thought I was unmuted. Can you, whoa, hold on. Give me one sec. Okay, take two. So I kind of went off the rails here. I actually wrote a letter to my grandma, and she's not someone like I would normally send a card to, because like I see her, but I also think it's really important to be reminded of how much you're loved. So do I read it, or
if you want to? I mean,
my sound is off now. Sorry, man, you guys, I'm up in the morning.
I feel like it.
I think I'm gonna leave it just at that. I'm just
Okay.
Wrote to her, just reminding her how much she's loved and how much I appreciate the example she set for my mom and for my family. Yeah.
Oh, Maggie, that's really sweet, because I mean, again, when I was thinking of this prompt and I thought, we're so good at sending cards to maybe the more expected, for like the more expected occasions, like the birthdays or like the, the big anniversary. But I mean, raise your hand if you're with me. I feel like the cards that have the most impact are maybe the ones that are unexpected, but right on the mark. Yeah, you guys feel that? I mean, I think the reason why the people got choked up when I sent them this card is because, I mean, this is not anything like groundbreaking. It just is a simple sentence, right? But it was unexpected. And I think because it was unexpected and it was just an everyday thing, like it's something that you could have said any day, but maybe something we don't say at all, it really went a long way. So Maggie, I just applaud you and all of you that wrote that type of card today, that is going to someone that maybe you see all the time, but they're just not going to expect it, maybe because you see them all the time. But that sure as hell isn't a reason not to send them a card, right? Like if anything, it makes it more of a reason to give them a card. So thank you for sharing that. It inspires me. You guys inspire me every time to send these types of cards. I'm not done yet, but I'll share mine. This is this card, frankly, like it doesn't sell a ton because it's so specific, but I really, just for anyone of you guys that knows a single mom, it says, to my beautiful single mama friend, which I'm going to put a neighbor, who doesn't hear this nearly enough, you are doing a great job. And it's just a like handwritten style note, because every single mom that I've talked to doesn't hear that they're doing a great job nearly enough, especially single moms, because they don't have maybe in that moment the spouse that's reminding their kids to tell them, Mom, you're doing a really great job. So this is just a soft spot card for me. And I just feel like every single mom deserves to hear that. So I said, hi, her name's Felicia. She's really sweet. I know we hardly know each other, even though we're right across the street from one another, and I hope this doesn't sound totally creepy. I see you doing a really amazing job every day at raising your sweet son, who takes out the trash every week. I see, raising your son, working full time, as I think you mentioned before, and hitting the gym like crazy. Way to go. I'm so impressed. I just want to tell her that the things that she's doing every day that might otherwise go unnoticed are admired, even if it's from afar. I just want her to feel that. So that's all I'm going to say. And then I'll probably just cap it off with, like I said earlier, like, where we are, if you guys ever need anything, if you ever, you're out of town, you need someone to check the mail, just anything simple like that, with love from the Uyghurs. So that's that. All right. Does anyone else feel like sharing anything? I mean, that was really, what did you guys think of this prompt today? Thanks, Megan.
I
Very helpful.
Helpful.
I was just going to say, I know I jokingly said, I know my neighbors far too well, but the reality is it's the reason I stayed here. Is I love the community. I mean, it feels like a family. As a single mom, raising my kids here was so much easier because of that community, and knowing, like the other person said, I don't remember who it was, but like my kids could knock on someone's door and say like, hey, I need help. And there would be someone there. And the fact that there were other moms like, oh, I saw, your son over here doing this. And then I could say, hey, were you over there doing this? And they'd be like, how do you know? And I'm like, I'm a mom. I know everything.
We're all watching.
Right.
Yeah.
I got to feel like I was omnipresent. So, but no, community is really important. It's a huge part of our lives here. So
Yeah.
I was just joking when I said I know them too well. Well, kind of joking.
I figured, and I was kind of joking with my follow-up on that. That brings up a question for you guys too. I mean, can you guys think of anything, either dump it in the chat or just unmute and say it, but like what's something that a neighbor has done for you that's made you feel really good, or anything that they've written in a note or even a text, just anything that's made you feel really good. And I'm asking that, Selena, I'm thinking about your neighbor who sets out the vote every single week. Did we talk about this, right?
Yeah. And actually recently, Christina and I were, thank you, going on a walk, and we ran into, it's so funny because Acacia was saying, can I vote? And they haven't had their voting card out. So these neighbors of ours, they put out a little piece of paper that's laminated that says, vote with a painted rock, which you like better. And it'll be, you know, like pumpkin patches or a hayride. And then you vote, and then every week they tally up the votes, and they have like last week's poll votes, and then they do a new week. And so they haven't had it. And anyways, the girls were talking about it, and we ran into the mom of the little girl who I think is 9, who does the polls. And she was saying, oh yeah, we haven't been doing it. Oh, no. But we have to get back to doing it. But it made me think we should write them a little letter just to say, you know, how meaningful that's been for us.
1,000%. Yes. I mean, that to me, it's like the Christmas lights, you know, or just doing something where you're thinking about your neighbors and how they might experience that and how it might bring a little bit of joy to them. And not that they're probably doing that expecting it, but I'm sure that would go a long way. Like that's so cool. And they've been doing that for over a year, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So Sarah, my dad is my neighbor too. My dad and my neighbor. I love your prompt because, you know, he's helpful in like 9 million ways to us and to other people too. And so I feel like I've written him some cards recently, but I was just like, your reminder about the Christmas lights was just like, yeah, like, I mean, he does the most incredible job. And when I was like maybe 5, he made these stars out of plywood that he like cut out of plywood and then hand painted and then hand dipped in glitter. And then every year he strings them from the side of the house. And this is in addition to like all the lights and all the other like shenanigans. It takes like multiple weekends, and it's just him putting it all out. And so this year he decided to refresh the stars. And so he took them all down, you know, he took them all out, and if there were any that were chipped, he like replaced them, and then he repainted them and re-glittered them. And I'll also say he needs carpal tunnel surgery. Like he shouldn't be doing this, but he loves it. So I wrote him a card to thank him for refreshing the stars and letting him know that he's bringing magic to us all. So
oh, Megan. Oh, that is so,
he's such a sweetheart.
Awesome. I
Yeah.
want to meet your dad.
He's really cool.
He sounds really cool, like to say
Yes.
the least. That is
Right.
really sweet.
So if any of you ever go like view the lights in Olympic Manor, that's where my family lives, and live in the
Yeah.
corner of 93rd and 22nd, and you'll see
Yeah.
the stars there. So it's pretty fun.
I'm gonna drive over there with Hudson. We're gonna have to
Fun.
go look.
Yeah.
That is amazing. Okay, this is motivating me to somehow get my printable done for all of you, just to, because I just, the idea was just to make it a postcard even, you know, just have like a 8.5 by 11 that you could cut twice and, you know, print off as many as you want and just leave it in someone's mailbox. Okay, that's really cool. Megan, we can chat more, but maybe you could send me like a picture of the stars or yeah,
Totally.
I can drive by soon and maybe
Yeah.
inspire, you know, work that into the design.
Sure, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. All right. That's all I have for you guys today, other than, you know, I did have one more quote, and I try to wrap these up with like a positive, you know, something to tie it all together. I have no idea who said this. I just know that someone has, I think Kathy Heller, a few of us in here did a course through this woman named Kathy Heller, and she said part of this quote, and it's that this isn't a trial run. This life is not a trial run. And I found something else related to that this isn't rehearsal. It's not a dry run. This is it. This is your life. Don't wait. And I just thought that would be a nice thought to end with today, because I think especially during the holidays, we just get so distracted and we get so busy and just pulled in so many different directions. And then we think, well, you know, you might look at that blank card and think, well, I can send that next month. You know, I can send that next year. I can just, I'll get back to that. Well, if it's just remember that. I mean, it's not a trial run, and we're in the now. And I just feel like it doesn't have to be perfect to just send the damn card. Just send them that 1 or 2 lined card and probably make their day. So that was what I wanted to just kind of drive home today. Just try to slow down as things get even crazier and send the damn card. You guys are doing awesome. All right, put it in the chat. How many cards did you guys write today? Just curious. It's not always about the number, but are you kidding? Oh my gosh, Audra, that's gorgeous. You guys, wow. We have a very talented group of people. I think we all know that, but wow. Way to go. Okay, pat yourselves on the back. I wish you the best of luck over the next few days and the next few weeks. And I really hope that you can join in on the 30th, okay? For the parental pop-up. And again, you don't have to be a parent to join it. I just assume there's gonna be a lot of kids and chaos in the background. So, all right, well, have a great rest of your day, everyone. Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sarah.
Bye, you guys. Thank you.
Bye.